What's up guys, and welcome back for another EVE Online video. This isn't the continuation of my series, you probably will have noticed when you clicked on the video. So tonight I just want to do something just a little bit different to normal while I'm on a very long journey across New Eden in my Porpoise. I think I'm doing a 44 jump journey, so just thought I'd record this video while I'm flying along in the background. Basically, if you saw my last video, episode 4 in my life as a corporation director, you'll have seen me mention a chap called the Eradicator and his mail he sent me with a bunch of industrial fits, or mining fits I should say. Basically I just wanted to go through each one of those in a bit more detail, each one of those fits, talk through my understanding of them, basically because I think there's a lot of really good information in there, and stuff I didn't know existed in the game. So basically I'll get his mail up in a second, but as I'm in my Porpoise, I think that's where we'll start. This is the fit that I've currently got, and it's the fit that I believe that prompted the Eradicator to mail me, because he saw some flaws in it. The warp core stab being one, just anyway. So
warp drive active.
This is the fit I've got currently, and you can see just quickly, if I go on my drone yield, it's not that high, 176 per drone per minute. And so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to linger on this one, and we'll go back straight to his mail, and we'll start with the Porpoise straight away. But I just want to point the warp core stab out because he calls it out directly, and I think it might be that item that made him mail me in the first place. So yeah, let's just get the Eradicator's mail up, and we start. You got his mail. By the way, anyone watching this that has any advice or questions or anything like that, please do mail me. I love it. As you can see, the Eradicator put quite a lot of detail into his mail, and it's been excellent. I've learned a lot, really appreciate it. So yeah, if you've got any advice or questions that you think I can answer, then please reach out to me in game.
Warp drive active.
So this is Porpoise fit. We'll jump straight into here, but let me keep this open to one side so that you can see it as we go through. Because there's going to be a few fits, I'm probably not going to put them in the description because that would get quite big, and I haven't got an EVE workbench account yet, so just pay attention to what's down here. I'll scroll down it so you can bring the video back to this point if you want the fit later. There we are. You can see I currently don't have the skills for one of it, but that won't be a problem. Yeah, Skirmish command. So when I'm ready, I'll train into that. But so this is the fit, and here's what the Eradicator says about it. It says it's predominantly for high-sec mining, but I don't see why it wouldn't work in wormhole space as well, which is what I set my Porpoise up for. And basically, yeah, the aim of the ship, because Porpoises aren't brilliantly tanked, they're not going to survive for very long. You know, EHP 58,000 is not terrible, but it's also not superb, right? So the goal of the ship is to be able to align really quickly, so if someone comes in, you've potentially got the opportunity to get out. That's your best bet, is to be able to just react and get out as fast as possible. The Eradicator says with the right skills you can get to a 4.62 second align time, which is very, very good. And this is because primarily he swapped out the warp core stabilizer for inertial stabilizers, which I think decrease align time. The inertia modifier, there you go, ship handling and maneuverability, that will decrease align time. And also he mentioned that the warp core stabler is more or less pointless, especially in the wormhole, because a hunter isn't going to be using a long range point, which only has like a 1 warp core disrupt strength, I'll get bubbled, so it's pointless. That's infinite, or scrammed, which I think has 2 points. So that wouldn't save me anyway, which is my thinking behind it. So it's pointless to have, you know. So we replace that with the Inertial Stabilizer for the align time improvement. We've removed the tank from the rigs, which I've got in my fit at the moment, because again the tank's not really what you're there for, and so you can just replace that with drone boosts to improve your mining yield, and a command processor so that you can fit more things on here. Actually, so this is one of the items that I didn't know existed. Similarly, this one, which I'll talk about in a second. So the astute among you will have noticed that a Porpoise can only fit 2 command burst modules. Normally, if we go in here, look, traits, can use 2 command burst modules. But we have 3, and that's all because of this rig, which increases the number of command burst modules that can be equipped. +1. So straight away we can fit another command burst module. And so these are the 2 mining boosts. They're pretty standard. We'll have them on the other one, and you can fit the charges in them. Let's just chuck. There you go. Field enhancement and laser optimization. They are decrease cycle time on your lasers and increase the range of the lasers. But the important one is this Skirmish command burst, which again I didn't know existed. And what that does is well, basically with the charge, I thought it would say in here, but with the charge that are going to put in it, you can decrease the Evasive Maneuvers Charge. You decrease the align time of the ship. So you'll have seen there, if I take that out again, you see the align time down here, currently at 5.04. If we remove the charge, 5.39. So straight away that brings us down to just about 5 seconds with the evasive maneuvers. So that's good, and as he says, as the Eradicator says, with skills that can come right down. I don't have any skills in Skirmish command at the moment, so that's why it's still just over 5 for me, 5.04. But yeah, you can bring the align time right down to 4.62, which means you can get out. And also, because you've got the extra drone rigs, the yield now per drone with just Tech 2 mining drones is, move this up a touch. I've got quite good skills for mining and drones, so obviously this will vary depending on your skill set, but for me 185.3 per drone per 60 seconds, and I have put them into, not that one, into a spreadsheet. Let me go back so you haven't got OBS in the background. There we go. Into a spreadsheet here so I can compare them later, where, you know, these are drones, 5 mining drones with a yield of 185.3 per 60 is a yield of 15 meters cubed per second, which if you then ran it constantly for 10 minutes is 9,265 meters cubed every 10 minutes. So that is you see there's going to be the comparison there later. That's what the Porpoise can achieve as a solo miner. It also gives you the align time, so you're relatively, that's the wrong word, you're not relatively safe, but you can potentially get away if someone comes in, and you can also boost. So we're we're boosting the lasers of other miners in our fleet. So that's the Porpoise fit and the purpose behind it. You can see got a lot of drones. You can pack a little bit of damage as well, defend yourself. If we just have a look at the Hammerhead's damage, 32 times 5 per drone, so you know that's a lot of damage. DPS is 237, not to be trifled with, and the tank 58k EHP. So yeah, not too bad at all. So I will eventually be changing my fit to this, swap out the rigs, train into Skirmish Command Burst, and that'll be where I go. So next thing in the mail was, yes, let's exit that simulation. An Orca fit. So there's two Orca fits we've got here. The first one is short and sweet in terms of description. It's just for high-sec mining. Oh, actually I will mention just very quickly the price of this as well. Obviously it's just estimated, but 138.5 million for the Porpoise and this whole fit. That's pretty cheap. So this isn't a break the bank fit, you know, it's all perfectly achievable. And you can achieve 9,265 with my skills every 10 minutes. Right, so back to the Orca. This is a high-sec mining Orca and is not cheap. Right, this is a lot more expensive than my Orca build. It's fairly blingy, but I'm going to try and talk through what it does. So again, I'm just going to scroll through this gently. We've got their remote shield boosters, a shield command burst and mining foremans, then the tank, but obviously officer and faction power diagnostic systems, nice rigs, and then through the drones and charges. Right, and so if I go simulate fitting, you'll see this isn't a cheap one. It's more or less 2 billion for the whole thing. But the Orca's 1.2, so the fit's 700 million. And some of that will be the augmented mining drones, which I'm not going to talk about because we're doing a comparison on mining drone 2s. Now basically the thinking with this fit, I believe, and I haven't had this confirmed by the Eradicator, this is just my speculation and reasoning behind it, is that obviously it's got pretty good yield. Like, that's good for solo mining and high sec, that it will have good yield anyway, and none of this is that important for the solo mining, and not the command boost or the remote or the command boosts on the mining. You can give yourself shield boost, but yeah. Capacitor control circuit for all of these. So basically the remote shield boosters are for if you are commanding a fleet in high sec and you're commanding a fleet of, say, hulks, or you know, it could be any other barge, but say hulks. You can, someone drops on you and is trying to gank you, you can keep them alive long enough with these for Concord to come and do its job, right? 400 every second, 7 seconds, 3 times. You can do that for 9.5 minutes. You're keeping those guys alive. Hopefully, you know, it need to be a pretty well organised gank to come get you. So, as I said, these aren't for solo mining. You know, these high slots aren't important for solo mining, so you don't need to necessarily spend, what does it estimate for those? 35 million a pop, so that's 100 million. You don't need to, you can save that 100 million if you're never going to boost a fleet. But yeah, you know, that's what those are for, to keep your fleet of probably hulks alive. And then you've got the cap batteries and capacitor control circuits, basically so that you can keep those running for up to 10 minutes. So again, not strictly necessary for solo mining. You could improve your own tank, I guess, if you wanted to. Like, I'm not. I quite like my own fit for this, but I just want to talk you guys through this one because it still has 189,000 HP, right? So you've got a good tank. But then the other thing you'll want to see is the comparison on the yield on the mining drone 2s. Is we have 258.3 every 60 seconds times 5. So that's a lot higher than the 180 that was in the Porpoise, and that translates to a yield per second of 21 meters cubed, or 21.5, and then 12,915 every 10 minutes, which is, you know, what's that, a third more again than the Porpoise. So there is obviously a big price difference, but you will eventually earn that money back if you don't lose it, obviously. And especially if you're going to be able to boost and keep alive several other ships. And there's a Hulk fit that the Eradicator has posted as well, which is sort of, I believe, relies on having an Orca like this in your fleet, which I'll go into next. There is another Orca fit, but we'll go have a look at the Hulk fit first, where basically what the Eradicator said is because high-sec gankers tend to use the Catalyst, which is going to have kinetic and thermal DPS, you can target the resists on your Hulk to meet those resist holes, so thermal and kinetic, and obviously explosives high, but that's just natural. And then when you get remote repped and boosted by Orca, you'll be able to survive for a good long time. You know, Hulks normally are very squishy. Any ganker worth his salt will be able to take them out normally. These are very resilient if you've got that Orca we've just gone through, to keep everyone alive. And we're talking, the Eradicator reckons maybe up to 10 gankers can drop and you can survive. You won't lose a ship, and that's really quite impressive, right, for a Hulk. And then just quickly with this fit, so a little bit of tank in the mid and one of the rigs. You've got the processor overclocking unit as well. I think for your power, is it power grid or CPU on this thing? CPU. And then just mining laser upgrades. You can probably make them Tech 2. There might not be enough CPU. Let's have a quick check. Modules low. Mining laser upgrade 2. So let's take one out. So you can put one in. Can I put a second in? No, definitely not. That's interesting. But could we put a different one in?
Drive active.
That's not unbelievably expensive. What we got in faction? Well, they're all going to be a lot, aren't they? Yeah. So you can put one Tech 2 in, and then you can put. That's quite expensive. We could go Elara restrained, I guess. Let's chuck that in and see what it does to our yield. I calculated it with the Tech 1s, but if we just quickly go charges, I don't need to, I don't think. We can go in here, mining amount, special. Okay, so I need to put in the specialty crystal. Doesn't matter which one. Let's go Tech 2 Veldspar. Now what have we got? Show info. 1448.51. So let me jump so I can hit the next gate. 1448.51. We'll chuck that in here. 1448.51. It's 1448.51. There we are. So the Hulk can achieve a yield of, you know, nice and high, 16,257 every 10 minutes. And that's solo. Obviously you should never fly a Hulk solo, it will get killed. So you want to be under an Orca or a different fleet, and then you can improve that by roughly 30%. It's actually a little bit higher because of the boost from the Orca. So let's just go equals that times 1.3. There you go. You would actually achieve, if you were being boosted, sort of 21,000, maybe slightly more, 22,000 every 10 minutes. That's a lot of ore. You know, you're more than double the Porpoise at that point, but you're being boosted. Do bear in mind you're being boosted, and these can't be. So if you're not being boosted, it's a 16. But don't fly a Hulk solo, please. yeah, so that's the Hulk. We'll just quickly flick back to the alternative Orca. That's, I think, slightly cheaper and definitely with an additional tank, plausible too. Let me just scan down through here again as well. You can swap the shield booster for the other mining no, sorry, that's the remote shield booster. You can swap the command bursts, shield command bursts for mining formers if you wanted to. Although this fit again is for if you're boosting a fleet. This isn't for solo mining, because again this is designed for wormhole. This one. So as far as this one goes, works one as a nullsec. So he suggested it as an opportunity for wormhole as well, boosting, because it has monster Hulk tank. So again, you're not going to fly this solo. You're going to fly this as part of a fleet with potentially with reinforcements and security nearby. Otherwise, you might lose a billion-esque ship. But again, we've got the command processor rig, which is pretty cool. Which gives us an extra command boost slot. So you've got 2 shield command boosts and 2 mining foremen. You've got 1 remote shield booster and the drone link for sending your drones out further. Shield tank and a cap recharger. But the primary thing here is the hull tank. So you've got the damage control in the bottom, and then reinforced bulkheads, coupled with transverse bulkheads 2s in the rigs. Gives you a lovely effective hit point of 411,000. So you can sit there for quite a long time taking damage, giving your backup time to arrive. Much cheaper than the other one, because you haven't got all the faction and officer stuff. 1.3 bill. But the yield is lower. So obviously the other Orca had it was 250 odd. This is 204. So significantly lower, but it's designed to boost a fleet in null and possibly wormhole space. I can quickly just get the Procurer stats up, so you can compare these to just a normal Procurer fit for the yields. Mining barge, Procurer. Let's just go high-sec Procurer. We'll swap these out for the Tech 2 ones, just to be fair. Again, modules, high slot, strip miners, modulated, 2 of them, and we'll put crystals in. And we've got Tech 2s in the bottom. So this is, this is again this is much cheaper. Actually, it's not that cheap. What have I got in here that's so expensive? Probably the rigs. Yeah, the rigs. That's the Tech 2 one. That's going to be quite a lot. How much for the Tech 2 rig? Only 3.8. Maybe it all just adds up. Fair enough. But anyway, the yield on these is 1461 per 162 seconds. So I'm not going to put the nice colours in, but I can actually. Let's just do this. Copy, paste, Procurer. You're supposed to be bold. Why aren't you bold? Procurer really doesn't want to be bold. -2 yield was 1461.92. 1461.92 per 162. So 10,829 per 10 minutes. So that is considerably less than the very expensive high-sec Orca. So that's worth noting. But obviously a lot less as well than the Hulk, but don't fly that solo. Fly these solo because it's not the end of the world if you're going to lose them. And they've got a pretty good tank. They're not that attractive to gankers. So yeah, that's basically it. I just wanted to summarise quickly because there's some information in there from the Eradicator that I just wanted to share, primarily on the Porpoise fit. I'll just get that up again because it's my favourite one in here. As I say, the Skirmish command bursts I didn't know existed, and therefore within that I didn't know that Evasive Maneuver Charges existed to improve your manoeuvring speed. I had no idea these rigs existed to increase the number of command burst modules you can fit. So really good information from the Eradicator, and I thank him for those. And similarly, just the insight on what a pirate or a ganker or a hunter might do. I'm not a hunter, so getting a point of view from their perspective and a bit of advice from there is really useful. Obviously he may turn up tomorrow as soon as I fit myself up in one of these and blow me up and go, haha, you fool, but hopefully not. Anyway, so yeah, actually I'll put the Porpoise fit in the description because I like it, but the rest you'll unfortunately have to come back to the video and scroll through. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found it informative, and if you did, stick around on the channel. There'll be hopefully be more like this. Subscribe, like, and yeah, please reach out to me in game. Any advice, any questions, just drop me an email or a comment, and I'll get back to you when I can. Anyway, cheers. Thanks for watching.